Could Marcus Rashford make a sensational switch to Barcelona as talks over his new contract continue at Old Trafford? Ali, it's going to be a really interesting one to see if Marcus Rashford becomes the highest paid player at Manchester United, whether Barcelona, these rumours are true of any kind. Do you see his future anywhere else?
Right. The first thing to address is where these rumors are coming from and where these stories are coming from. And the reports are coming from England. Oh, well, what do you know? If these reports were coming out of Barcelona, out of Catalonia, that you know that there's always a direct connection between sources in the club, within the club, that just kind of leak information out just to kind of get a feel as to what the reaction from the fans would be and get a feel as to what the temperature in the room would be. Well, those reports are not coming from Barcelona. They're coming from England. And so, of course, it's going to generate interest in England. And it's going to generate interest because of what Marcus Rashford is, what he means to Manchester United. Now, let's, for a second, put ourselves in a position that Marcus Rashford is in. He's in a leverage position. He's in a position of power. He's in a position where he can demand essentially whatever he wants from Manchester United because we have seen the best of Marcus Rashford over the last couple of months under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who is going to be the manager of this team going forward. And so you would think that the trajectory for Marcus Rashford with Manchester United would continue to be an upward trending trajectory. And if that's the case, if you're Manchester United, you're not in the business of just letting talent walk away from the club. You're in the business of not only keeping talent, but also acquiring talent. Marcus Rashford has to be part of the future of Manchester United. There doesn't seem to be any other way out of this, unless, of course, Barcelona indeed steps forward and says, yeah, we're also a major player, and we're going to get after it, and that's a guy we want. But we haven't seen that announcement yet from Barcelona, and we haven't seen that position from Barcelona. Until then, if I'm Marcus Rashford, I sit back and I say, where have I played my very best? When has this happened? And it has happened over the last couple of months, as I said. And so therefore, if this is where I think I can thrive, if this is where I think I can really, truly maximize my potential, then I stay right here. I stay right here and I believe in myself, I believe in the club, I believe in the manager, I believe in the project, and I believe in the future of this organization. And to the point of Marcus Rashford moving to Barcelona, I would only ask the question, okay, whose position is he going to take? Is he going to, if you're Barcelona and let's just say, okay, you're going after a striker, would Marcus Rashford be the first choice that you'll be going after? I just don't think that that's the case. Is he going to play on the outside? Well, you already have Ousmane Dembele there, and that would take that position. So are you going to sit Lionel Messi? No. Luis Suarez, unless you go after his position, but at this point in their careers, do you take Rashford, do you take Suarez? I think if you're Barcelona and you really wanted to go after a number 9, a true number 9, you don't go after Rashford, you go after somebody else in England, that would be Harry Kane. So there are a couple of things that really need to line up here in order for them to make this a possibility. I don't think it's quite a possibility yet.
Financially, it doesn't seem as if it would make the most sense for Barcelona, given the fact that, yes, he has 1 year left on the contract, but there's an optional year as well, which puts... It's actually quite a nice inclusion for Manchester United because it gives them a little bit of breathing room. They can activate that option even if they haven't come to terms. But all intents and purposes, it seems as if they would come to terms. It's a no-brainer for Rashford to stay at Manchester United. So for Barcelona, where do they put their money this year? Do they have the ability to trade a Coutinho for some star player that they think is a better fit, a younger player, someone like a Rashford, or do they have the cash to go out there and buy whoever they want regardless?
I just think Barcelona needs to stop making decisions just for the sake of making decisions. There has to be a plan. And they have to learn a little bit from Real Madrid. And that Madrid started just kind of throwing money here and there and everywhere, and now all those players are now getting a little bit older, and things are just falling apart, and you don't have a second option. Now you're stuck with these guys until the end of the season, and then hopefully something happens in the summer where you're able to wheel and deal and get players and get rid of players and all those things. If you're Barcelona, you want to stay, I think, a step ahead of the curve. And so You're banking on Dembele becoming the player that he has shown to be in flashes, that he becomes far more consistent. And you hope that maturity allows that to happen. And you also hope that he stays fit long enough in order for them to see more than just flashes. The other thing that you hope is that Coutinho plays better. And the reason you do that is not only because of what he can do for you out on the field, but you need his value to go up. His value from the time that Barcelona bought him from Liverpool to what it is now has dipped, and has dipped incredibly so because, well, at times he's not playing, and when he's not playing all that well. And it really limits the number of clubs that can go after a player like Coutinho, because Barcelona's going to say, wait a minute, we invested all this money. We got to get some of it back. Some of it, please. And you don't want to go into a market knowing, with other teams knowing that you're desperate to get rid of a player. So they wouldn't be so desperate if Coutinho played a little bit better. And you got to give him that time in order to do that. You got to have some return on your investment before you say, you know what, that's it, we give up on this guy. I think it would be too soon to give up on Coutinho.
Yeah, so looking at it, they'd be going for younger players, but really to work out what that system is and where their deficiencies are overall, as opposed to just trying to fit one particular area.
Well, I think they've addressed some of it. Let's not forget Frankie de Jong is coming to Barcelona, and so that means they're getting younger out of the midfield in an area in which they needed to get younger and a little bit more athletic, and I think he brings that. You can make the argument that they could use some help in the back line as well. You can make the argument that they could use a true right back. Sergio Roberto is not a true right back. And Semedo, I assume, doesn't quite have the trust from Valverde to be the guy, because there's been moments in which Sergio Roberto, who again is not a right back, has been preferred to Semedo. And so maybe you find an outlet down the right-hand side that is just as effective as Jordi Alba is on the left-hand side. If you do that, then you have balance as a team. A lot of times Barcelona tends to be a very left-sided team, and they almost limit themselves to that part of the field, and they don't, because they don't have a natural outlet down the right-hand side like they had with Dani Alves, then they cut the field in half and they become a whole lot easier to defend. It's a lot more difficult to defend, however, when you still have Lionel Messi. And that in itself makes all the difference in the world.
So your thoughts, just finishing up here on Rashford, the issue is the Barcelona interest makes a lot of sense for leverage from Rashford, but it doesn't make a lot of sense from Barcelona, and maybe his future is just best suited at Old Trafford.
Well, I just think you don't have the guarantee that you're going to go to Barcelona and you're going to be playing, right? Because the competition to play is very strong, stronger than it would be at Manchester United. Because of what he has been able to prove at Manchester United, he's going to play and he's going to be the guy. Now, if you want to be the guy, this is the opportunity, and you're going to get paid like the guy. This is your chance. This is your moment. This is what you've dreamt of. This is, since being a youngster in this club, this is it, right? So why would you walk away from the stage that you wanted to create for yourself? Now the stage is there for you. Don't walk away. Perform, baby. Sing away. Do what you do. Score some goals.
Well, Manchester United would be absolutely delighted if he continues to progress the way he has so far. And of course, it's in their court at the moment to tie up that contract as soon as possible.